Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BucketCast, a podcast where we talk Magic the Gathering, cannabis, and much, much more. Before we begin, if you could please hit that follow or subscribe button, and be sure to comment your thoughts and opinions after the video. So without any further ado, let us begin. The strain I am enjoying for this cast is Wet Dream by Timeless. Very good one. Nice Blue Dream little mix we got here. Very much enjoy it. And the taste profile is definitely there. So today on the cast, we are going to talk my experiences of convention from start of my time with conventions to where I am now. As you guys know, I love my Magic the Gathering. And when I got my original start in paper, I would go to those events and conventions all the time. More at the start, the local hobby shop and whatnot, but once I got my first taste of Magic Cons, I would go to as many as I could. They were fun. We get a hotel room for the weekend. We go check in, get food, hang out, do deck tech prep. There's gonna be one of these every podcast. Deck tech prep and all the strategy and preparation the night before, and get up early the next day, get breakfast, go register, do the first round, smoke throughout the day, hang out, play, and then dinner prep for the next day, rinse and repeat for Sunday. It was a whole experience. I loved it. And it was definitely a lot of fun when I was a paper player and more involved in the in-person experience of Magic the Gathering. There we go. 2019, I had my paper collection stolen out of my car, which I always viewed as a necessary evil, or maybe that's a poor way of saying it. Things happen for a reason. I'm doing what I'm doing now. It led me to where I am now, so I try to look at it that way, but definitely has caught me, astrayed from the in-person community of paper Magic the Gathering. Something I do miss a lot. I miss, and granted, drink your succession. I don't have the same community that I did then. I definitely feel that if I did and I had the paper collection up to my standards, I would definitely return to those Magic conventions. I would honestly return to the Magic convention even if I didn't have a paper collection, just with my online presence, just to interact with people. Problem is, for me personally, I definitely feel like for those kind of events, like anime conventions too, like really a lot of conventions, I need to have a group there with me. It's not something I can really go alone unless I'm there specifically to do content and stuff. I need to, have a community with me. Otherwise, I just feel out of place. And no fun to go to those things alone. I don't recommend it unless you're got a competitive schedule and you want to focus. I definitely recommend always going to MagicCon with a group. A lot more fun. It just is. There's drink your succession between the hotel, restaurant, and convention itself, and everything else. It memories to be made, and you will not regret it. Absolutely. But definitely something I need. I did return to a MagicCon within the past couple years. I went to Minneapolis MagicCon with my friend Matt and Stefan, which was a lot of fun, and I definitely felt not as out of place. I had my group of people with me. We'd all go separate off and do our own thing for, competitive and whatnot, but I definitely had fun there. MagicCons historically have very minimally visited New Jersey, so maybe I'd consider going back and revisiting them. It's definitely something that has recurred in my mind before. I think I definitely tried to fill that void briefly with an attempt at anime conventions, which I won't say aren't my thing, but are definitely something I like. MagicCons need a group of people to go with. I feel like more so at the anime conventions, the crowd can be, if you're not with a group of people, much harder, if not impossible, for someone like me to meet genuine people who want to involve you, want to, bring you along with them, to not meet anyone, and if you do meet someone, not feel like, they want you to be around. That's kind of the psychological, the psyche of it. So I think it's like I said, I definitely tried to fill that MagicCon void with anime conventions for a little bit. I was invited by Puffin 2023. Yeah, I think it was, for DerpyCon, which was my introduction to DerpyCon. And I think that gave me a lot of, I won't even say that. I think DerpyCon this past year of 2024 was just poorly run and poorly managed. The staff, lower level staff were great, but it's about those high level decisions that matter and the impressions they make. And they were unfriendly. This high level staff, the high level people were unfriendly and did not prioritize things how they were supposed to. So it definitely left me feeling like, unpleasant interactions with the staff and just a general feeling of like the events inside the convention weren't thought out. So I definitely was disappointed going to that because my previous year's experience was with Puffin, and I guess I didn't factor that into, got a free pass for the weekend. I had a way to shoehorn myself into, conversations and whatnot, but it's not as easy when you're going alone, at least at the point I was with my content at that time. And maybe not even to a degree now, but I think my point I'm trying to make here is that I approach going to conventions nowadays very warily, and always make sure that I feel like I'll be comfortable there, because otherwise it's just a waste of money and waste of time. And that's why another reason why I love the cannabis community that I have become part of. I can go to those events alone and know that I'm going to see people there that I know and that will make me feel welcome and involved. It's not something I have to feel like I'm wandering around alone and wondering why I'm there. It's something I feel a part of. I can go to those things and find someone to smoke with, someone passes me something. We go film some content together. There's always something going on with these. So it's really nice to know. I guess that's kind of filled the void in the way, a lot of ways, that I can go to these conventions and feel well known, feel accepted and embraced as I am with them, and get to try the products I do, network. And it may not be the same, kind of environment, but there's a lot of what I enjoyed from Magic Cons in these cannabis conventions. I get to smoke, get to hang with good people, have fun, be stupid, do stupid stuff. It's a lot of the core pieces of what I love about it. And to be honest, it's not that I hated certain parts of Magic Cons, but there are definitely parts where you're like, how do I put this? Like, in the competitive sense, like, no one enjoys having their heart beat out of their chest if they're wondering if they made the top list or are gonna, play out how they want to, which, that's part of the thrill of competing, but not something you have to deal with in the cannabis community. I've felt so far. It's a chill vibe altogether, and that's why, even when there's, maybe a contest going on, it's still, a chill vibe. It's not something that you got your heart in your chest over or anything like that. So everything, like the losing of my Magic collection, everything happens for a reason, and I feel like, if anything, Magic Cons were a good prep for a lot of what I do now. They were a good way for me to get out, because, back then when I was first starting Magic Cons, I wasn't as apt of a person to go out and trigger social events on my own. I hadn't evolved in my autism as much at that point. So they were, when I did get the chance to go to them and, could rally the money together, the people and everything, it was a good way for me to talk to people, force me to, come out of my shell to a great degree, try new things, strategize, think things through. And I think a lot of that prepped me for the cannabis events, which I'm grateful for, great degree. So what do I say about the future of conventions for me other than cannabis conventions? I don't know. I'd like to go to Magic Cons if I felt I had a group of people to go with. I'd like to go to anime conventions if I felt I had a reliable group of people to go with. But at the end of the day, if those people don't show themselves at some point, I'm perfectly content with the cannabis events I get to go to and the fun I get to have at those. And that is my summation for this podcast. This is the end of the BucketCast episode 2 on conventions. I'm sure we'll touch more on this in the future. Conventions are a big subject of mine, and I've got plenty of convention stories and whatnot, so maybe that'll be a sub thing we'll go into. But that's the BucketCast episode 2. So if you enjoyed, please, again, like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts. Share your own convention stories, convention experiences, convention psyches, and whatnot. And drink your succession. World Star Hip Hop.